Good morning, folks. We are out in an area not too horribly far from the last location I was in when I was out camped when I was recovering from being sick. But we're just taking another little break. We just got done in Seaside where we got the Line X put on the high top. And then the next step of the project is to get the rack built, and we're going to be working on that a little later this week. But since I have a couple days before we start on that, I figured I would just come up and spend a little bit of time in the forest. And it is very beautiful this morning. We had just a little skiff of snow, nothing too crazy, but just enough to cover everything in a fresh layer of snow, and it's very beautiful. We got a day that is, I would say it's probably mostly cloudy, but we get these little sun breaks, and every once in a while the sun just kind of pokes through and spotlights little areas of the forest, and it is very stunning for sure. I've actually been sitting here drinking coffee for a while with full intent of getting you guys on a little bit earlier. It's already getting a little bit late in the morning, but found myself quite mesmerized by the beauty of the outdoors and the hot tastiness of my coffee, and I was quite relaxed, and it was just hard to want to distract myself with the camera at that moment. So I've been, like I said, just kind of sitting here. But I do have all day to kind of putz around. I think I will make myself a hot soup that I can take along with me, throw in my backpack, and go for a nice hike. It does seem like we'll have a decent day. Yesterday was super windy, but right now the wind doesn't seem to be a factor, so that's nice. So I think it'll just be a little wintry mix, even though we're now in spring, where we get a little bit of snow showers and a little bit of sun, which is very normal for our springs here in Central Oregon. So anyhow, I think we'll just have a very pleasant day outdoors. Alright, so I've got all my ingredients together for the soup to go that I'm going to take on me for our little hike. I've got all my vegetables out, and we've got some okra, mushrooms, broccoli, shallots, garlic. We've got an egg in there as well. We're already starting to work a little bit on browning our Italian sausage. I really like Italian sausage for a soup like this because the Italian seasonings within the sausage are going to really add a lot of flavor to the soup. Now, what I'll do on the other burner is I will just boil some chicken stock. I've already pre-cut all my vegetables, so they're ready to go. So once I pull out the browned sausage, I'll go ahead and just saute these vegetables a little bit just to give them a little extra flavor, and then I just dump everything into this Stanley food jar where it will continue to cook, and when I'm ready to eat here, say in a couple 3 hours on the trail, it'll be absolutely delicious. I tell you what, it is really starting to snow, and our little sunspots, I don't see any at the moment. So I'm not necessarily sure how much wildlife is going to be actually out and about today, but it's still fairly pleasant. I mean, it's snowing big flakes, but the wind's not blowing, and even though it is snowing, it's not snowing, or it's not that cold, is what I was actually going to say. So I think it'll be a fine day for a bit of a hike, and like I said, if we get a little bit chilly, we'll just eat some hot soup. That is very, very satisfying on a day like we have today. It just continues to just lay it down, just really snowing hard. It's been a really nice walk. Some areas were a little bit more challenging than others, where you got out into some open area where you were walking through old snow, now covered in the new snow. I'd say today, so far, we've accumulated maybe a couple inches, nothing too crazy, but enough to really put a beautiful, beautiful layer on everything and make everything look fresh and clean again. Haven't seen any wildlife. We did, I've seen some tracks, but nothing fresh. Most of the tracks I have seen are almost pretty well covered up at this point. And I haven't even heard a bird chirp, not since this morning. When we had a little bit of sun this morning, I heard the birds chirp a little bit, but since the snow's been falling like it is, it's been just quiet. Just dead calm and quiet. It's very, very peaceful. I don't think it will come through in this video how peaceful it is. I think the only way you can truly appreciate this type of peace is earning it and just being out here. Right now we're just, we're gonna eat the soup. I've kind of gave myself a little cover with these pine trees. And then I think we'll work our way back to the van and then evaluate what we want to do from there. Well, we've been back in the van now for probably about an hour and a half, and our weather outside continues to just change every minute. Even on the way back, it cleared up. It was sunny and beautiful on the walk back, and then by the time I got back to the van, it was cloudy, and now it's snowing again, but it has definitely warmed up. Pretty much all of the snow that we got this morning has melted away. I mean, there's patches and everything, but I don't think that the patches are any more than what they were before it started snowing yesterday, but it's definitely not a full blanket. And the wind had kicked up at one point as well, knocked a lot of the snow off the trees, and quite honestly, I think I know what it's like to live inside a drum. It's just been snow, big chunks of snow hitting the top of the roof, and a little bit noisy, but in the end, we're in the van and warm. You can probably hear the heater running in the background. We've been reading a book, this one here, which Megan found at an antique store in Astoria when we were on the coast last week, and she showed it to me, and I looked and saw that it was actually written by Townsend Whelan and another feller. But for those that are familiar or maybe have watched the channel for a long time back in my bushcraft days, you might be familiar with who Townsend Whelan is, and he actually is pretty well known for a type of lean-to tent, and I have one, and I still have it, and I used to use it quite often for camping when I was long before van life and all this. So thought it was pretty interesting. Really cool find, $5. So I thought so it's been nice to just sit back, relax, and stay warm and comfortable and dry inside the van and read a good book. All right, so we're just kind of getting around to cooking dinner. It's gonna be real simple tonight. I'm just taking that leftover Italian sausage that I used in the soup today, added a little bit of okra, and then we're just gonna throw in a can of classic stag chili and call it good. Dinner is served, and we're just gonna eat it straight out of the skillet. That way I don't have to worry about any extra cleanup. I'm not dirtying another bowl or anything like that. So I do this quite often. Stacked chili the canned stacked chili is one of my favorite canned chilies anyways, but then you add this Italian sausage in there, which adds some really nice bold flavor to it. Just makes it all that much better. But anyways, guys, yeah, it's coming to the end of the day. It's been a really good day. I've really enjoyed it. It's been very relaxing and peaceful. We've had some volatile weather. We've had sunshine, snow, wind, but for the most part, it's been a very pleasant day, and I really enjoyed getting out for a hike. And even though I wish I would have seen some wildlife, it was still extremely peaceful and nice. And there is a group of elk that kind of hang out in this area, and I thought they might be down in here because we're kind of in a valley as we are right now. And with all the extra snow we've had this spring, I thought maybe that would have kept them down low here, and they might have been somewhere around, but we didn't see them. Now, as far as elk are concerned, I did get a chance to see some elk in Seaside. There's a resident herd there that looks like they kind of hang out there fairly regularly. And when me and Megan were out and about one day, we got to see them. They were in like a little grassy area just as you come into the town. And that was really cool. It gave me a chance to get out and play with my long lens and shoot some pictures. They didn't seem too bothered by me or the other bystanders that were around, so it was a good time to get some shots of some elk, and just kind of added to the enjoyment of that trip. So, but no elk on this trip. No elk out here this trip. Maybe another day here soon. Anyways, I'm going to finish eating this food, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below, and we'll catch you guys again outside. Mm-mm-mm.